Good evening and welcome to the May 2nd, 2022 Township of Bedminster Township Committee regular scheduled meeting. Recognize that Committeeman Stevenson has an excused absence tonight. Committeewoman Moreski, Committeeman Hickey, and I are in person in Town Hall, and participating by Zoom is Committeewoman Fernandez. Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers, and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 6, 2022.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That sounded so thin. We usually have bigger voices.
Exactly.
I could
Missing our choir.
I could throw it out a little bit more. Before we move to public comments, just a quick statements. At the last meeting, we had the unfortunate news to deliver of Mayor Lloyd's passing, and at the time I said, we would get the, excuse me, the obituary from the Burnsville News and read that into the record, and I have that with me tonight. So, Robert G. Lloyd, 84, former Bedminster Township Mayor, friend to many. Robert G. Lloyd, 84, of Pottersville, passed away peacefully on Monday, April 18, 2022, from complications of a stroke he had in January. He was born in Jersey City, but spent most of his early years in Cranford and Westfield, graduating from Westfield High School in 1957. He then attended Rutgers University, received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, while simultaneously working as a foreman and later as a production manager at J. Wyss & Sons in Newark. During that time, he also took advanced classes in metallurgy, which ultimately shaped his future career path. He spent quite a few years in manufacturing management, thereafter moving on to employment at Colt Industries in sales and marketing. He founded and ran two companies, Robert G. Lloyd Associates, a manufacturer's representative firm selling industrial machinery, equipment, and other support products, and his own Lloyd Metalworking Fluids, a complement to his other product lines. As a sidebar to his business endeavors, he became involved in local government in Bedminster Township, initially as president of the Far Hills Bedminster Athletic Club, organizing and fundraising for local youth sports programs. This led to his appointment to the Bedminster Township Committee, where he served as police commissioner for 6 years and as mayor for 3 years. He also served on the Somerset County Park Commission during that time. His personal interests included hunting and fishing, and he led a team that taught the New Jersey Hunter Education Program for 33 years. He was also a founding member of the Long Valley Hidden Valley Gun Club, where he served as president for over 60 years. Additionally, he was a member of the Black River Fish and Game Club. Bob was well known around town and was easily recognized by his distinctive white beard. He will be remembered for his quick wit and special brand of dry humor, and for being a friend to many people in a variety of ways. Anyone who needed to talk or just to enjoy some good laughs knew they could find Bob at his office in Pottersville during the week. He is survived by his wife of 62 years, Alexandra, Sandy, his daughter, Kathleen Ussery, and her husband Patrick Ussery of PPAC, his son Robert G. Lloyd Jr. and his wife Denise of Annandale, and 5 grandchildren, Rachel and Connor Ussery, Nicholas Scott and Abigail Lloyd, as well as 2 sisters, Joan Swain of Basking Ridge and Karen Ames of the Woodlands, Texas. He was predeceased by his parents, George A. Lloyd and Elizabeth L. Lloyd of the Woodlands, Texas, and by a brother, John J. Lloyd of Conroe, Texas. A memorial service will be held at 11 a.m. on Saturday, May 14 at St. Luke's Episcopal Church, 182 Main Street, Gladstone. The family requests that in lieu of flowers, donation in Bob's memory is being made to the Tunnels to Towers Foundation or to the Wounded Warrior Project. So, I think as we talked about last time, while Bob it was a long time ago that Bob served on a township committee, he certainly had a long-lasting impact in Bedminster, was certainly active in all our campaigns, and was a tremendous representative for the folks in Pottersville. And, going through the list, remember that his daughter Kathleen Ussery married to former police chief Pat Ussery of Bedminster. So lots of connections with the Lloyd family in Bedminster Township. And once again, the memorial service, May 14th at St. Luke's. COVID numbers, 1109 total cases, 7 fatalities. We still remain at that number. I read an article just this morning actually saying that the month-to-month increase was 100% over the prior month. So cases are still out there. They're still out there. Colin, the next time you have a Board of Health meeting, I'm curious to see if the county has any information about the severity. Because once again, all we're getting is raw numbers. We're not getting, are these severe? It's certainly anecdotally. It seems people are getting it and testing positive. I've heard ranging from a head cold to a flu. I'd be curious to see if the county actually has some different numbers to put the total cases and the increase of the cases that are being reported into some sort of context. With that, we'll go to public comments. Let's start with in person. Anyone here? There's no one here other than Jake. Let's go to the Zoom session. No one there. Okay. We have 2 minutes to approve. The April 18, 2022 Township Committee meeting minutes and the April 18, 2022 Township Committee closed session meeting minutes. Any questions or comments? Take a motion to approve those 2 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Permits and raffles, we have 4. Social fair permit to benefit Gill St. Bernard's School, May 16, 2022 at Hamilton Farm Golf Club, 1040 Pottersville Road, Bedminster. A social fair permit for Mansion Caterers, TA, I assume this is trading as, Frungillo Caterers on July 29 through July 31st, 2022 for the LIV Golf Inc. Professional Golf Tournament at Trump National Golf Club, 900 Lamington Road, Bedminster. 3rd is an off-premise merchandise raffle to benefit Christian Brothers Academy on October 17, 2022. Yes, Christian Brothers Academy. Do we have any alums?
Hi.
Do we have any CBA alums here?
You do have a CBA alum from a long time ago.
Okay.
Now I'm a little surprised. But
So it's an off-premise merchandise raffle to benefit Christian Brothers Academy on October 17, 2022, 7 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club, 811 Rattlesnake Bridge Road, and perhaps, since it's a merchandise raffle, you'll buying a few tickets there.
I'm sure I may be getting a
Okay,
phone call.
all right. And the 4th is casino night to benefit the Institute for Children with Cancer and Blood Disorders on June 3rd, 2022. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Hamilton Farms Country Club, 1040 Pottersville Road, Bedminster. Any questions or comments? Because I know I have one. So the social fair permit, that's for the golf tournament that's proposed at Trump?
That's correct.
Okay.
We're actually meeting with the folks from Trump tomorrow to get more detail on the complete event.
Okay. Questions or comments? Take a motion to approve those 4.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Monthly report discussion by subcommittee chair, Committeeman Hickey. Let's start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. A couple of updates. Board of Health, we recently had a meeting where one septic application was approved. There was also a public hearing on our revised fee ordinance. The board also agreed to support a breast cancer awareness initiative that was brought to the attention through the mayor's office, and Board Secretary Janine DeLeon will coordinate that effort on behalf of the Board of Health. The county, and this goes to the point you were raising before, Mayor, they reported that they are continuing to host a weekly vaccine clinic. It's only once a week now, and they administer about 40 shots a week. So they've seen a significant decrease in demand, although that may change as things go on, and mostly booster shots, they indicated. But I will bring that point up at our next meeting in terms of the severity of the cases.
Right, also there's some of the data that we're getting, we've been, on the vaccination numbers, we've been getting first dose and full dosage. We're not getting numbers on boosters. And I don't even know that you can go back and then essentially reassess the booster data into the fully vaccinated and make a distinction.
Right,
but we'll see if the county knows any information that the state may be putting out there.
Right, we'll ask, definitely. The county also submitted for public health accreditation with input from many of the local boards, including our own. And last but not least, on Board of Health, Committeewoman Fernandez presented on the stigma-free initiative. And Gina, maybe you want to make a couple of comments now about that.
Thank you, Colin. Yes, I attended the Board of Health meeting to discuss the stigma-free campaign initiative through the Somerset County hashtag Break the Stigma regarding, embracing the discussion about mental health and its impacts on individuals in the community. And we discussed the stigma-free task force. Everyone on the Board of Health seemed to be gung-ho about it. And we're moving forward with the initiative. We're going to be creating a stigma-free resource guide for our community and possibly be setting up stigma-free booths at the farmers market with different resource agencies that are available. And we'll kind of go from there. So just, moving forward with the stigma-free initiative at this point.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Also had a couple updates on Board of Ed. They held a public hearing last Thursday on the 2022-23 budget, which was ultimately adopted after some deliberation, which I'm sure we'll read about in the Burnsville News, thanks to Jake, who was also in attendance. The board also announced the retirement of two celebrated teachers, Mr. Shoke and
Really?
Mr. Phillips.
Really?
Which I'm sure I'm not alone in saying they had a significant impact on many of our kids.
Who's going to do the geography, B?
I just don't know. And then finally, Community Block Development Grant Committee will meet this Wednesday. I'll be representing Bedminster, where we will be reviewing funding requests for public services throughout Somerset County. So I'll report more on that at our next meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Committeewoman Moreski.
Good evening, Mayor. On the EC committee, they are actually canceling their meeting for this Wednesday. The next meeting will be the first Wednesday in June. But one thing that they are still discussing is the well water testing that will be held this year in conjunction with Far Hills, because there aren't enough participants just for Bedminster, so they figured they'd put everybody together. That'll be June 18th from 9 to 12. You can pick up your test kits at the fairgrounds. Basic kits cost $60, and then as you add different items to things you're interested in adding, there is an additional cost, but I'd be interested in finding out some of those results. As I said, it's the June 18th, so we'll put up reminders at the farmers market, because that's going to start on the 28th, and just to remind people that that will be available. And then JBH, that meeting for the 18th will be postponed as well. But I did want to remind people of the Field of Honor celebration that is this month on the 21st. That's a Saturday from 11 to 4. Lots of good things going on. Please come by and show your appreciation for our past and present Bedminster Army, Navy, whoever, all of them. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any updates for tonight.
Okay.
That's it. Thanks.
So I'm just going to hit on a couple items. Library board, I think I may have mentioned this in the past that the library is now going to look at improving the Clarence Dillon Public Library website. So we had a series of meetings. There's actually a subcommittee formed, and they're looking at, well, first is trying to find some library websites that we like. What was interesting is that Bernardsville recently redid their website, and we're looking at as one model. Sussex County also seems to, Sussex County Library seems to have a great website as well, and it was very interesting. Certainly the Clarence Dillon Library, that website is old. We don't like the yellow background. It doesn't work well. But there were a lot of really great ideas, and there's a lot of really interesting things that you can do with the library website that I think is going to be really of tremendous value to our residents. And so just stay tuned, and before it goes final, Colin and I will try to bring in an example of what it may look like. So we'll continue with that. Farmers Market. Yes, May 28th, it's coming up, so we've been having regularly scheduled meetings and getting them more frequent as we're heading into the start date. We're going to have a greatly expanded list of participating vendors, and it should be very exciting. I don't want to give the full breakout at this meeting. I'll save that for the next one. But just let it be said that I think we're going to have a good time at the market. And we'll just hold on to that, and we'll leave that as a surprise for the next meeting. Land Use Board, no updates, and there's a meeting this week, but it involves Board of Adjustment matters, so Committeeman Hickey and I are not eligible. One thing I did want to discuss is really not a subcommittee, but I just want to recount participation at the Raritan Headwaters Association Stream Cleanup, which our little area here was organized by Dawn March, the chair of the Environmental Commission. And so Committeeman Hickey and I show up in our boots, get our bags, get our gloves, head down along the river, right by River Road Park, and we're mucking it along the river. We find a whole mess of stuff, including 2 large garbage cans. How they got deep into the woods, I don't know. Probably got caught up in the river, floated up, went on land as the water receded while we found them. But what the interesting thing is, the first one was just sitting on the banks, and I got it, threw the rest of our garbage into it, so we started dragging that around. Found a second one that was wedged between 2 trees on the ground, like this. And it was caught in there, one tree on top of the can and the other underneath it with branches in between, and we look at it, we're like, oh, we can't move this. We'll just have to note where it is and maybe get DPW out there. Well, Colin says, well, let's give it another shot. He disappears, goes into the woods, because we had found a fence post, split rail fence post, so it had a little tapered end, and he's like, oh, I'm going to try to wedge it in there. So he wedges it under between the tree, the top tree, and the garbage can, and press down on it, get the tree up a little bit, and he starts trying to manipulate the garbage can. I'm like, okay, I'll take the post, I'll be the weight on the lever, and he's pushing it around, and I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's loose. We get it out, and we continue, and we find some other stuff along the river, and you find some giant plastic thing, and we're both in the river, and we bring everything back out to the staging point, and I'm covered in mud. We've been in the same spot, the exact same spots, in the river, in the mud. My boots are covered in mud. I have mud on my face, on my hat, on my shirt.
Sure. Yeah.
He's spotless.
Every year he's spotless, right?
He's spotless.
I know I had a little spot on my jeans.
But did you have fun?
I had a great time.
I don't know how he remained clean, but,
It's just me.
and then we came back out, and then some of the other groups who were also in that same general area, like, did you guys see that, that garbage can wedged in the tree? I'm like, yeah, he found it, and, we got it out.
Good time was had by all.
Yeah, so.
Do you have a can of Scotch Guard? You
I was doing the same
It
thing.
doesn't
Or
stick to me.
spray it?
Yeah, ask my wife, it doesn't stick. I don't know why. Never has.
You're lucky.
Ms. Ray,
Sure.
month administrator's report.
I'll be very brief. Poll workers are needed for the upcoming primaries on June 7th. The Somerset County is actually paying $300 a day, which is an increase, which we thought was going to go away, but it has remained in effect. We sent the flyer out through Rave, and it's on our website, sent it out to the various the community through various channels. So the bag ban goes into effect Wednesday, May 4th. We
Right.
have a couple, I gave you guys a couple, we have a couple Bedminster bags that are available to our residents. We still have a few left, so please come on by. Also, there is a DOT public information session that's coming up on May 10th that has to do with the US 202, the bridge over the north branch of the river right by the Far Hills First Aid Squad.
This will be the fourth time we've had this information session as the project keeps getting delayed.
It's getting, yes, but it is closer, so we have, the planning is supposed to be completed spring of 2022. The final design plan phase is supposed to be completed fall of 2022 with construction starting spring of 2024. So this is an opportunity for residents to ask questions and share feedback with the DOT representatives. It'll be here at Bedminster Town Hall. We've advertised it all over. Far Hills is doing the same, sent out to all the fire and first aid and schools, so everybody's aware of it.
Okay, great.
And last but not least, I just wanted to, just purely informational, the Center for Contemporary Art is applying for a cultural, Somerset County Cultural and Heritage Commission grant for $30,000 to repair the ADA ramp outside the front of their building. And the old one that's there is no longer compliant, it's crumbling, so we lent our support with a support letter in hopes that they get that grant to have that construction done.
Great,
That's all I have.
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
We have no ordinances to introduce or to discuss or to conduct public hearings. We have nothing on the consent agenda. We do have two resolutions to consider tonight. First is Resolution 2022-048. This resolution authorizes the appointment of a full-time deputy court administrator in the shared municipal court. Ms. Ray, want to walk us through this?
I certainly shall. So our current deputy court administrator is retiring at the end of this month, and we are in need of a deputy court administrator, and we think we found the perfect one. So she's going, if all goes well, she'll start with us on May 16th.
Great. Any questions or comments for Ms. Ray regarding that resolution?
Just a quick question, the salary is the same or less than the previous salary?
It's what was prescribed by the committee,
Got it.
shared court committee.
Great, thank you.
No further questions or comments. May we have a motion to approve Resolution 2022-048?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
The second resolution is Resolution 2022-049. This resolution authorizes the award of contract for road maintenance and repair materials for the period of June 1, 2022 through May 31st, 2024. And Ms. Ray, do you or does Rodney want to talk about the dollars associated here? Looks like it's Stavola and Atlantic Salt.
Sure, I'm happy to. I know Rodney might have had some surgery today.
Oh.
Ronnie, jump in if you want to, but just sometimes it's cheaper for us to go out to bid ourselves than it is to go through the state contract. So that's what this is for these particular materials. It's less expensive for the township to purchase them this way, so that's why we're going down this path.
And these numbers are good throughout, through the 2-year period?
That's correct.
So notwithstanding inflation or delivery charges?
Locked it. Guaranteed.
Okay. Any further questions or comments regarding 2022-049? Seeing none, may we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we also have a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez? Ms. Fernandez?
Sorry, I'm still muted. Aye.
Thank you. And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, any items for new business? Seeing none, let's go to the old business items, COVID-19. We've covered those numbers. DOT road improvements. Chief is not here to discuss the improvements that we're further discussing with DOT at River Road and Hills Drive, so let's move past that. Utilities. Let's start with Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. 2 quick updates, one on Altice. I just want to let everybody know that the one-on-one meetings with each one of the Bedminster homeowners associations are currently being scheduled by Altice. Target to get them done by the end of May. Again, these are deep dives on the construction plans for each individual neighborhood. I've already received feedback from at least one HOA representative who met with Altice and was very pleased with the outcome. I know there's been a lot of concern expressed about potential damage to roadways, but Altice's plan is to use directional bores and go under the road wherever possible. So in this particular neighborhood, there were only 2 locations where boring had to take place to lay conduit, and no road cuts were required. So
Did they actually implement that, those bores already?
they did.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
So
great.
those conduits were laid in that particular neighborhood, so hopefully that's the cookie cutter, plan for success going forward. So again, they'll do it neighborhood by neighborhood now.
Can you, are you comfortable identifying which neighborhood did that, just so in case there's others that want to see what it looks like, what the directional drill, what the entry point, what the exit point looks like?
Sure, it was an Old Crest neighborhood.
Okay. So Knollcrest, and would it be obvious to anyone just walking by that there was conduit installed?
I don't know, but you know what? I'm certainly reach out to them and they can, I'm sure they'd be happy to share
Okay.
the experience. So that's good news.
Great.
Just a quick update on Planet Networks. As we mentioned last time, we are working with Planet Networks to gauge interest in a potential fiber overlay in Pottersville and western portions of Bedminster. The first step in that process is to survey our residents, and towards that end, the survey went up late last week. Thank you, Robin Ray. You can find it on the Bedminster homepage or at https://survey.fasternj.org/1801. Ms. Ray has done a yeoman's job getting the word out via Facebook, Bedminster Alerts, Community Pass, the Pottersville Fire Company, her counterpart in Tewksbury, as well as plain old-fashioned flyers that we'll get up and post in Pottersville. So more to follow, but the word is getting out there.
Great. Okay, thank you. Gina, Committeewoman Fernandez, do you have any updates on your utility efforts?
No, the last I heard, I reported out at the last meeting that I spoke with Tanya Banks, and she said within the next few weeks, the our initial letters going out, the price quotes would be going out to some residents in some of the neighborhoods, since the job was split into 4 different neighborhoods basically. So I have not heard of anybody getting a letter yet, but should be momentarily.
Okay, thank you. And Committeeman Stevenson is not here to talk about the Pluckman Park housing update, but John, you have not heard anything from Committeeman Stevenson or directly from the owners?
Other than Committeeman Stevenson had a rather busy week and was unable to facilitate a meeting this week, but that he looked forward to reaching out to Pluckerman Park and arranging the same in the near future, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that, let's go to Township Committee comments, and Committeeman Hickey, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to recognize the passing of John Greco, Bedminster resident, who passed away unexpectedly about a week or so ago at the age of 58. As my colleagues here on the dais know, when you're running for office, you knock on a lot of doors, and if you're lucky, you have a few really good conversations each day. And John was one of those when I was running for re-election. Even though our interactions may have been brief, I considered him a friend. So our condolences go out to his wife Susan, his entire family. John will be missed by the entire Bedminster community. And on a happier note, Mayor, happy birthday to your wife, Mimi. So we'll get this meeting over with quickly so you can go see her. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeewoman Moreski.
Just want to extend my condolences again for Mayor Lloyd and his family. It's very sad.
Thank you. And Committeewoman Fernandez.
Just, want to echo the sentiments of Committeeman Hickey and Committeewoman Moreski, sending my condolences to the Lloyd family and happy birthday to Mimi. And for anyone who celebrates yesterday and today is the end of Ramadan, it's a holiday Eid al-Fitr, very important to many Muslim families. So if anyone in our community is celebrating, wishing them a happy Eid al-Fitr. And that's all.
Thank you. So just one thing I did want to touch upon is, we talk about zoning and enforcement. Certainly this body took action to get those two dilapidated buildings down in Pluckerman, to have those, to essentially work with the property owner. You can take them down, you can fix them up, but you can't keep them as they are. And he took them down, partially. The foundations are still in place, and he was required to put up a fence. He put the fence up. The fence has fallen down a couple times. And I just want to say that thank you to our construction office and our zoning officer, who continue to engage with him and are applying the same pressure to have that work completed. Anyone who's driven by over the last several weeks, the fence goes down, the fence comes back up, the fence goes back down again, but the foundation, both foundations remain there. From our enforcement folks, they're saying that's a non-compliant situation, so get on it. I also do know that in other areas where there's been violations or really violation notices have gone out, they're staying up on it to make sure that the violations are followed through, or the reaction to the violations are followed through, whether that's going to be enforcement through penalties or other options that lie with the town and certainly lie with the staff, or working with the owners to get into a compliant situation. So I do want to once again give a shout out to Zuzana Karras, our zoning officer, and to Ken Rogers, our construction officer. And that's all I have. And it is 7:36. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Thank you and good night.
Good night, all.
Emails.
Good one. Thank you. Bye.